Today in Bereshit 24, Genesis 24. By now, Avram was old, advanced in years, and Adonai had blessed Avram in everything. Avram said to the servant who had served him the longest, who was in charge of all he owned, "Put your hand under my thigh, because I want you to swear by Adonai, God of heaven and God of the earth, that you will not choose a wife for my son from among the women of the Canaanite, among whom I am living, but that you will go to my homeland, to my kinsmen, to choose a wife for my son Yitz'chak." The servant replied, "Suppose the woman isn't willing to follow me to this land. Must I then bring your son back to the land from which you came?" Avram said to him, "See to it that you don't bring my son back there. Adonai, the God of heaven, who took me away from my father's house and away from the land I was born in, who spoke to me and to swore to me, I will give this land to descendants. He will send his angel ahead of you, and you are to bring a wife for my son from there. But if the woman is unwilling to follow you, then you are released from your obligation under my oath. Just don't bring my son back there." The servant put his hand under the thigh of Avram, his master, and swore to him concerning the matter. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and all kinds of gifts from his master, got up and went to Aram Naharaim, to Nahor's city. Toward evening, when the women go out to draw water, he had the camels kneel down outside the city by the well. He said, "Adonai, God of my master Avram, please let me succeed today, and show your grace to my master Avram. Here I am, standing by the spring, as the daughters of the townsfolk come to draw water. I will say to the one of the girls, 'Please lower your jug so that I can drink.' If she answers, 'Yes, drink,' and I will water your camels as well, then let her be the one you intend for your servant Yitz'chak. This is how I will know that you have shown grace to my master." Therefore he had finished speaking. Before he had finished speaking, Rivkah, daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Avram's brother, came out with her jug on her shoulder. The girl was very beautiful, a virgin, never having sexual relations with any man. She went down to the spring, filled her jug, and came up. The servant ran to meet her and said, "Please give me a sip of water from your jug to drink." "Drink, my lord," she replied, and immediately lowered her jug into her arm and let him drink. Then when she was through letting him drink, she said, "I will also draw water for your camels until they have drunk their fill." She quickly emptied her jug into the trough, then ran again to the well to draw water, and kept on drawing water for all his camels. The man gazed at her in silence, waiting to find out whether Adonai had made his trip successful or not. When the camels were done drinking, the man took a gold-nosed ring weighing 1/5 of an ounce and 2 gold bracelets weighing 4 ounces, and asked, "Whose daughter are you? Tell me, please. This is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night?" She answered, "I'm the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, bore to Nahor," adding, "We have plenty of straw and fodder and room for staying overnight." The man bowed his head and prostrated himself before Adonai. Then he said, "Blessed be Adonai, God of my master Avram, who has not abandoned his faithful love for my master, because Adonai has guided me to the house of my master's kinsman." The girl ran off and told her mother's household what had happened. Rivkah had a brother named Laban. When he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists besides, and when he heard his sister Rivkah's report of what the man, had said to her, he ran out to the spring and found the man standing there by the camels. Come on in, he said, you whom Adonai has blessed. Why are you standing, man, outside when I have made room in the house and prepared a place for the camels? So the man went inside, and while the camels were being unloaded and provided straw and fodder, water was brought for him to wash his feet and the feet of the men with him. But when a meal was set before him, he said, I won't eat until I say what I have to say. Lavan said, Speak. He said, I am Abram's servant. Adonai has greatly blessed my master so that he has grown wealthy. He has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male and female slaves, camels and donkeys. Sarah, my master's wife, bore my master a son when she was old, and has given him everything he has. My master made me swear, saying, You are not to choose a wife for my son from among the women of the Canaanite, among whom I'm living. Rather, you are to go to my father's house, to my kinsmen, to choose a wife for my son. I said to my master, Suppose the woman isn't willing to follow me. Avram answered me, Adonai, in whose presence I live, will send his angel with you to make your trip successful, and you are to pick a wife for my son from my kinsmen in my father's house. This will release you from your obligation under my oath. But if, when you come to my kinsmen, they refuse to give her to you, this too will release you from my oath. So today I came to the spring and said, Adonai, God of my master Avram, if you are causing my trip to succeed in its purpose, then here I am, standing by the spring. I will say to one of the girls coming out to draw water, Let me have a sip of water from your jug. If she answers, Yes, drink, and I will water your camels as well, then let her be the woman you intend for my master's son. And even before I had finished speaking my heart, there in came Rivkah, going out with her jug on her shoulder. She went down to the spring and drew water. When I said to her, Please let me have a drink, she immediately lowered the jug from her shoulder and said, Drink, and I will water your camels as well. So I drank, and she had the camels drink too. I asked her, Whose daughter are you? And she answered, The daughter of Bethuel, son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him. Then I put the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her wrists, bowed my head, prostrated myself before Adonai, and blessed Adonai, God of my master Avram, for having led me in the right way to obtain my master's brother's granddaughter for his son. So now, if you people intend to show grace and truth to my master, tell me. But if not, tell me, so that I can turn elsewhere. Lavan and Bethuel replied, Since this comes from Adonai, we can't say anything to you, either good nor bad. Rivkah is here in front of you. Take her and go. Let her be your master's son's wife, as Adonai has said. When Avram's servant heard what they said, he prostrated himself to the ground to Adonai. Then the servant brought out silver and gold jewelry together with clothing and gave them to Rivkah. He also gave valuable gifts to her mother and brother. He and his men then ate and drank and stayed the night. In the morning they got up, and he said, Send me off to my master. Her brother and mother said, Let the girl stay with us a few days, at least 10. After that she will. He answered them, Don't delay me, since Adonai has made my trip successful, but let me go back to my master. They said, We will call the girl and see what she says. They called Rivkah and asked her, Will you go with this man? And she replied, I will. So they sent her their sister Rivkah, her nurse, Avram's servant, and his men. They blessed Rivkah with these words, Our sister, may you be the mother of millions, and may your descendants possess the cities of those who hate them. Then Rivkah and her maids mounted the camels and followed the man. So the servant took Rivkah and went on his way. Meanwhile, Yitz'chak, one evening, after coming along the road from Beer Lahai Roy, he was living in the Negev, went out walking in the field, and as he looked up, he saw camels approaching. Rivkah too looked up, and when she saw Yitz'chak, she quickly dismounted the camel. She said to the servant, "Who is this man walking in the field to meet us?" When the servant replied, "It's my master," she took her veil and covered herself. The servant told Yitz'chak everything he had done, and Yitz'chak brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent and took Rivkah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus was Yitz'chak comforted for the loss of his mother. Avram took another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Yokshan, Midian, Yishbak, and Shuach. Yokshan fathered Shuvah and Dedan. The sons of Dedan were Ashuram, Letushim, and Lumim. The sons of Midian were Epher, Hanok, Avida, and Adallah. All these were descendants of Keturah. Avram gave everything he owned to Yitz'chak, but to the sons of the concubines he made grants while he was living and sent them off to the east to the land of Kedim, away from Yitz'chak his son. This is how long Avraham lived, 175 years. Then Avraham breathed his last, dying at a ripe old age, a man full of years, as he was gathered to his people. Yitz'chak and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, the Hittite, by Mamre, the field which Avram purchased from the sons of Het. Avram was buried there with Sarah, his wife. After Avram died, God blessed Yitz'chak, his son, and Yitz'chak lived near Be'er Lahai Roi. Here is the genealogy of Ishmael, Avram's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian woman bore to Avraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael, listed in the order of their birth. The firstborn of Ishmael was Nevoiot, followed by Kedar, Abiel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Masa, Hadad, Tema, Yetur, Naphish, and Kidma. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, according to their settlements and camps, 12 tribal rulers. This is how long Ishmael lived, 137 years. Then he breathed his last, died, and was gathered to his people. Ishmael's sons lived between Havilah and Shur, near Egypt. As you go toward Asher, he settled near all his kinsmen. Now, this is the Talmud, the history. Here is the history of Yitz'chak, Abraham's son. Avram fathered Yitz'chak. Yitz'chak was 40 years old when he took Rivkah, the daughter of Betuel, the Arami from Padan Aram, and sister of Lavan the Arami, to be his wife. Yitz'chak prayed to Adonai on behalf of his wife because she was childless. Adonai heeded his prayer, and Rivkah became pregnant. The children fought with each other inside of her so much that she said, "If it's going to be like this, why go on living?" So she went to inquire of Adonai, and who answered her, "There are two nations in your womb. From birth they will be two rival peoples. One of these peoples will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." When the time of her delivery came, there were twins in her womb. The first to come out was reddish and covered all over with hair like a coat. So they named him Esau, completely formed, that is, having hair already. Then his brother emerged with his hand holding Esau's heel. So he was called Yaakov. He catches my heel. He supplants. Yitz'chak was 60 years old when she bore them. The boys grew, and Esau became a skillful hunter, an outdoorsman, while Yaakov was a quiet man who stayed in the tents. Yitzchak favored Esau because he had a taste for game. Rivkah favored Yaakov. One day, when Yaakov had cooked some stew, Esau came in from the open country, exhausted, and said to Yaakov, "Please, let me gulp down some of that red stuff, that red stuff. I'm exhausted." This is why he was called Edom, meaning red. Yaakov answered, "First, sell me your rights as the firstborn." "Look, I'm about to die," said Esau. "What use to me are my rights as the firstborn?" Yaakov said, "First swear to me." So he swore to him, thus selling his birthright to Yaakov. Then Yaakov gave him bread and lentil stew. He ate and drank, got up, and went on his way. Thus Esau showed how little he valued his birthright. A famine came over the land, not the same as the first famine which had taken place when Avram was alive. Yitz'chak went to Gerar to Abimelech, king of the Philistine. Adonai appeared to him and said, "Don't go down to Egypt, but live where I tell you. Stay in this land, and I will be with you and bless you, because I will give you all these lands to you and to your descendants. I will fulfill the oath which I swore to Avram, your father. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. I will give all these lands to your descendants, and by your descendants, all the nations of the earth will bless themselves. All this is because Avram heeded what I said and did what I told him to do. He followed my mitzvot, my regulations, and my teachings." So Yitzchak settled in Gerar. The men of the place asked him about his wife, and out of fear he said, "She is my sister." He thought, if I tell him she's my wife, they might kill me in order to take Rivkah. After all, she is a beautiful woman. But one day, after he had lived there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistine, happened to be looking out of a window when he spotted Yitzchak caressing Rivkah, his wife. Abimelech summoned Yitz'chak and said, "So she is your wife after all. How come you've said she's my sister?" Yitz'chak responded, "Because I thought I could get killed because of her." Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? One of the people could have easily slept with your wife, and you could have brought guilt on us." Then Abimelech warned all the people, "Whoever touches this man or his wife will be certainly put to death." Yitzchak planted crops in that land, and reaped that year 100 times as much as he had sowed. Adonai had blessed him. The man became rich and prospered more and more until he had become very wealthy indeed. He had flocks, cattle, and a large household, and the Philistine envied him. Now the Philistine had stopped up and filled with dirt all the wells of his father's servants, and during a lifetime of Abraham his father. Abimelech said to Yitzchak, "You must go away from us because you have become much more powerful than we are." So Yitzchak left, set up camp in Vadi Gerar, and lived there. Yitzchak reopened the wells which had been dug during the lifetime of Avram his father, the ones the Philistine had stopped up after Avram died, and called them by the names of his father had used them for them. Yitzchak's servants dug in the Vadi and uncovered a spring of running water. But the herdsmen of the Gerar quarreled with Yitzchak herdsmen, claiming, "The water is ours." So he called the well Esek, meaning quarrel, because they quarreled with him. They dug another well and quarreled over that one too. So they called it Sitnah, enmity. He went away from there and dug another well, and over that one they didn't quarrel. So he called it Rehovot, wide open spaces, and said, because now Adonai has made room for us, and we will be productive in the land. From there, Yitz'chak went up to Beersheba. Adonai appeared to him that same night and said, I am the God of Avram, your father. Don't be afraid, because I am with you. I will bless you and increase your descendants for the sake of my servant Avraham. There he built an altar and called on the name of Adonai. He pitched his tent there, and there Yitzchak's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar with his friend Achuzat and Pichol, the commander of his army. Yitzchak said to them, Why have you come to me, even though you were unfriendly to me and sent me away? They answered, We saw very clearly that Adonai has been with you. So we said, Let there be an oath between us. Let's make a pact between ourselves and you, that you will not harm us, just as we have not caused you offense, but have done nothing but good and sent you on your way in peace. Now you are blessed by Adonai. Yitzchak prepared a banquet for them, and they ate and drank. The next morning they got up early and swore to each other. Then Yitzchak sent them on their way, and they let him peacefully. That very day Yitzchak's servants came and told him about the well that they had dug. We have found water. So he called it Shiva, meaning oath, 7. And for this reason, the name of the city is Beersheba, well of 7, or well of an oath, to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took his wives, Yehudit, Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basmat, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. But they became a cause for embitterment of spirit to Yitz'chak and Rivkah. In the course of time, after Yitz'chak had grown old and his eyes dim, so that he couldn't see, he called Esau, his older son, and said to him, My son. And he answered, Here I am. Look, I am old now and don't know when I will die. Therefore, please take your hunting gear, your quiver of arrows, and your bow. Go out to the country and get me some game. Make it tasty the way I like it and bring it to me to eat. Then I will bless you as firstborn before I die. Rivkah was listening when Yitzchak spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went out to the country to hunt for game and bring it back, she said to her son Yaakov, Listen, I heard your father telling Esau, your brother, Bring me game and make it tasty so I will eat it. Then I will give you my blessing in the presence of Adonai before my death. Now pay attention to me, my son, and do what I tell you. Go to the flock and bring me back 2 choice kids. I will make it tasty for your father, the way he likes it, and you will bring it to your father to eat, and he will give his blessing to you before his death. Yaakov answered Rivkah his mother, Look, Esau is hairy, but I have smooth skin. Suppose my father touches me. He'll know I'm trying to trick him, and I'll bring a curse upon myself, not a blessing. But his mother said, Let your curse be on me. Just listen to me and go get me the kids, the goats. So he went, got them, and brought them to his mother. And his mother prepared them in the tasty way his father loved. Next, Rivkah took Esau, her older son's best clothes, which she had with her in the house, and put them on Yaakov, her younger son. And she put the skins of the goats on his hands and on the smooth parts of his neck. And she gave the tasty food in the bread she had prepared to her son Yaakov. He went to his father and said, My father. He replied, Here I am. Who are you, my son? Yaakov said to his father, I'm Esau, your firstborn. I have done what you've asked me to do. Get up now, sit down, eat the game, and then give me your blessing. Yitz'chak said to his son, How did you find it so quickly, my son? He answered, Adonai, your God, made it happen that way. Yitz'chak said to Yaakov, Come here, close to me so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you are in fact my son, Esau, or not. Yaakov approached Yitz'chak, his father, who touched him and said, the voice of Yaakov's voice, but the hands are Esau's hands. However, he didn't detect him because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he gave him his blessing. He asked, are you really my son, Esau? And he replied, I am. He said, bring it here to me, and I will eat my son's game, so that I can give you my blessing. So he brought it up to him, and he ate. He also brought him wine, and he drank. Then his father Yitz'chak said to him, come close now and kiss me, my son. He approached and kissed him. Yitz'chak smelled his clothes and blessed Yaakov with these words, see, my son smells like a field which Adonai has blessed. So may God give you the dew from heaven, the richness of the earth, the grain and wine in abundance. May people serve you and nations bow down to you. May you be lord over your kinsmen. Let your mother's descendants bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. But as soon as Yitzchak had finished giving his blessing to Yaakov, when Yaakov had barely left his father's presence, Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. He too had prepared a tasty meal and brought it to his father. And now he said to his father, let my father get up and eat from his son's game, so that you may give me your blessing. Yitzchak, his father, said to him, who are you? And he answered, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Yitzchak began trembling uncontrollably and said, then who was it that took game and brought it to me? I ate all just before you came and gave my blessing to him. That's the truth, and the blessing must stand. When Esau heard his father's words, he burst into a loud, bitter sobbing. Father, bless me too, he begged. He replied, your brother came deceitfully and took away your blessing. Esau said, his name, Yaakov, really suits him, because he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and here, now he has taken away my blessing. Then he asked, haven't you saved a blessing for me? Yitzchak answered Esau, look, I have made him your lord. I have given him all his kinsmen as servants, and I have given him grain and wine to sustain him. What else is there that I can do for you, my son? Esau said to his father, have you only one blessing, my father? Father, bless me too. Esau wept aloud, and Yitzchak his father answered him, here, your home will be of the richness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. You will live by your sword and you will serve your brother. But when you break loose, you will shake his yoke off your neck. Esau hated his brother because of the blessing his father had given him. Esau said to himself, the time for mourning my father will soon come, and then I will kill my brother Yaakov. But the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rivkah. So she sent for Yaakov, her younger son, and said to him, here, your brother Esau is comforting himself over you by planning to kill you. Therefore, my son, listen to me. Get up and escape to Laban, my brother in Haran. Stay with him for a little while until your brother's anger subsides. Your brother's anger will turn away from you and he will forget what you did to him. Then I'll send and bring you back from there. Why should I lose both of you on the same day? Rivkah said to Yitz'chak, I'm sick to death of Hittite women. If Yaakov marries one of the Hittite women, like those who live here, my life won't be worth living. So Yitz'chak called Yaakov and, after blessing him, charged him, you are not to choose a wife from the Hittite women. Go now to the home of Bethuel, your mother's father, and choose a wife from there, from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May El Shaddai bless you, make you fruitful, and increase your descendants until they become a whole assembly of peoples. And may he give you a blessing which he gave Abraham, you and your descendants with you, so that you will possess the land you will travel through, and the land God gave to Abram. So Yitz'chak sent Yaakov away, and he went to Padam Aram to Laban, son of Bethuel the Amori, the brother of Rivkah, Yaakov, and Esau's mother. Now Esau saw that Yitz'chak had blessed Yaakov and sent him away to Padam Aram to choose a wife from there. And that as he blessed him, he charged him, "You are not to choose the Canaanite woman as your wife." And that Yaakov had listened to his father and mother and had gone to Padam Aram. Esau also saw that the Canaanite women did not please Yitzchak his father. So Esau went to Ishmael and took, in addition to the wives he already had, Mahalat, the daughter of Ishmael's, Abraham's son, the sister of Nevoiot, to be his wife. Yaakov went out from Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. He came to a certain place and stayed the night there, because the sun had set. He took a stone from the place, put it under his head to lay down there to sleep. He dreamt that there before him was a ladder resting on the ground, with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of Adonai were going up and down on it. Then suddenly Adonai was standing there next to him, and he said, "I am Adonai, the God of Abraham, your grandfather, and the God of Yitz'chak. The land on which you are lying I will give to you and your descendants. Your descendants will be as numerous as the grains of the dust on the earth. You will expand to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. By you and your descendants, all the families of the earth will be blessed. Look, I am with you. I will guard you wherever you go. I will bring you back into this land, because I won't leave you until I have done what I've promised you." Yaakov awoke from his sleep and said, "Truly, Adonai is in this place, and I didn't know it." Then he became afraid and said, "This place is fearsome. This has to be the house of God. This is the gate of heaven." Yaakov got up early in the morning, took the stone that he had put under his head, set it up as a standing stone, poured olive oil on its top, and named that place Beit El, house of God. But the town had originally been called Luz. Yaakov took this vow: "If God will be with me and will guard me on this road that I am traveling, giving me bread to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return to my father's house in peace, when Adonai will be my God, then Adonai will be my God. And this stone, which I have set up as a standing stone, will be God's house, and everything you give me, I will faithfully return 1/10 to you." Continuing his journey, Yaakov came to the land of the people of the east. As he looked, he saw a well in a field, and there were 3 flocks of sheep lying there next to it, because they watered the sheep from that well. The stone on the well's mouth was large, and only when all the flocks had gathered there, they would roll the stone away from the opening of the well and water the sheep. Then they would put the stone back in its place on the well's opening. Yaakov said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" They answered, "We're from Haran." He said to them, "Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nachar?" They said, "We do." He asked them, "Are things going well with him?" "Yes," they answered. "And here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." He said, "Look, there's still plenty of daylight left, and it isn't time to bring the animals home. So water the sheep, then go and put them out to pasture." They answered, "We cannot, not until all the flocks have been gathered together and they roll the stone away from the opening of the well. That's when we water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, because she took care of them. When Yaakov saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, Yaakov went up and rolled the stone away from the opening of the well and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Yaakov kissed Rachel and wept aloud. Yaakov told Rachel he was her father's relative, and he was Rivkah's son, and she ran and told her father. When Laban heard the news of Yaakov, his sister's son, she ran to meet him, hugged him and kissed him. He ran to meet him, hugged him and kissed him, and brought him to his house. Yaakov told Laban all that had happened. Laban said to him, "You are indeed my own flesh and blood." After Yaakov had stayed with him for a whole month, Laban said to him, "Why should you work for me for nothing, just because you are my relative? Tell me how much I should pay you." Now Laban had two daughters. The name of the older was Leah. The name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was good looking with beautiful features. Yaakov had fallen in love with Rachel and said, "I will work for you 7 years in exchange for Rachel, your daughter." Laban answered, "Better that I give her to you than someone else. Stay with me." So Yaakov worked 7 years for Rachel, and it seemed only a few days to him because he was so much in love with her. Yaakov said to Laban, "Give me my wife, since my time is finished, so that I can start living with her." Laban gathered all the men of the place and gave a banquet. In the evening, he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Yaakov. And he went in and slept with her. Laban also gave his slave girl Zilpah to his daughter Leah as her slave girl. In the morning, Yaakov saw that it was Leah, and he said to Laban, "What kind of thing is this that you have done to me? Didn't I work for you for Rachel? Why have you deceived me?" Laban answered, "In our place, it isn't how it's done, to give the younger daughter before the firstborn. Finish the marriage week of this one, and we'll give you the other one also in exchange for the work you will do for me during yet another 7 years." Yaakov agreed to this, so he finished her week, and Laban gave him his daughter Rachel as his wife. Laban also gave his daughter Rachel his slave girl Bilhah and as her slave girl. So not only did Yaakov go in and sleep with Rachel, but he also loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served Laban another 7 years. Adonai saw that Leah was unloved, so he made her fertile, while Rachel remained childless. Leah conceived and gave birth to a son, whom she named Reuben, meaning "see, a son." For she said, "It is because Adonai has seen how humiliated I have been, but now my husband will love me." She conceived again and gave birth to a son and said, "It is because Adonai has heard that I am unloved. Therefore he has given me this son also." So she named him Shimeon, meaning hearing. Once more she conceived and had a son, and she said, "Now this time my husband will be joined to me, because I've borne him 3 sons." Therefore she named him Levi, meaning joining. She conceived yet again and had a son, and said, "This time I will praise Adonai." Therefore she named him Yehuda, Judah, meaning praise. Then she stopped having children. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing children for Yaakov, she envied her sister and said to Yaakov, "Give me children or I will die." This made Yaakov angry at Rachel. He said, "Am I in God's place? He's the one who is denying you children." She said, "Here is my maid, Bilhah. Go sleep with her and let her give birth to a child that will be laid on my knees, so that through her I can too build a family." So she gave Bilhah, her slave girl, to as his wife, and Yaakov went in and slept with her. Bilhah conceived and bore Yaakov a son. Rachel said, "God has judged in my favor indeed. He has heard me and given me a son." Therefore she called him Dan, meaning he judged.